Long ago in Norn.
Vampire lie. What is stronger, hate or fear? This story comes during the plagues in a quaint town in Serpent's Bog. The mayor has barred his door. The lawyer has fled like a bat out of hell. Kindly Brother Orban has locked all 7 of his sons in the house. And the village elder is dead. Word on the street is vampire. And so many blamed Mildred, for she was a woman of devious nature. 2 months pass, no supplies, no heroes. A summer with winter's chill. Citizens flee for safer pastures. The killings increase. People say this be the work of vampires. Fast, cunning, deceptive, the remnants hide in the church. Tonight the beast must die, or the town perishes. All that remain in the town are Father Almond, Wong, the bard, and his cousin Lily, the accountant, named Graham Stone, his goblin slave Galt, Grub the orc butcher, Doran, the dwarven blacksmith, and a handful of nondescript townsfolk, and Mildred, a half-elf songstress. But if you ask me, it's Wong. One should never underestimate the bard. Now, no folk here have seen a vampire. They've only heard tales. So far, the killer only strikes at night and doesn't seem to attack those wearing holy symbols. Rich and poor are among the dead. They sent for a vampire hunter. He never appeared. Father Almond says it must be a vampire. He urges all to attend his sermons, repent, and buy his holy water, and his holy crosses, and his holy garlic. The town elects Wong and Galt to investigate. He is given everyone's keys. The goblin has a mind like a steel trap. Many distrust Wong for his infidelitous nature. A few had hoped that he would meet his end that day. Wong jested, the accountant must be the vampire. He already sucks people dry of gold. But then why would he kill us if he needs our money? Doran the dwarf says, if ye ask me, it's the orc. He already covered in blood. Mildred says, of course he is. He's the butcher. The accountant says, yes, he's the butcher. I'm the accountant. You're the songstress. And this is already old. Now that we're all acquainted, let's get this over with. Father Almond claims, we know it has to be a vampire. It will have sharp teeth, a flowy cape, and a chilling gaze. The accountant, is it my fault I'm impeccably dressed and the only one who doesn't have a potato for a brain? Dwarf says the killer probably has pointed ears, a low dumb forehead, a little nose, and missing limb. The orc, hey, me no vampire. Vampire is dwarf. Wong sets off. He searches the abode and workplace of the accountant. Nothing interesting inside, save a journal. He skims it and finds that Graham is as boring as everyone says he is. The last entry was the only one of intrigue. Once before moving to this town, the accountant wished to wed a woman. She was beautiful, wealthy, and would be a reflection of his status. When he proposed, he was rejected. Nothing more awaits in the journal but blank pages. While Wong investigates, his cousin Lily reads. She loved stories, perhaps because her own was so tragic. Mother died giving her life. Father was slain by the vampire. She recently began living in the upper tavern with Wang. Her book is a gift from him, fairy tales. She found a story on vampires. She wanted to give this information to Wang, so she snuck out of the chapel. Then she was attacked by a shadowy fiend. As Wang and Galt made their way to the next house, they were assailed by a shadowy creature. The bard summons his courage and casts his torch at the beast. It screams and sinks into the night. The creature moved in the direction of the sheriff's home, leaving behind such a peculiar smell the bard could swear he knew it. The sheriff's house had been untouched for weeks. He died recently. His body was found broken outside the tavern. The sheriff had a modest journal. The last entry was from the day he died. It said he was going to have Mildred the songstress one way or another. The next house is the Orc Butcher's. The inside is a mess. The Orc was only recently promoted to this position. The prior owner had left town 2 months ago. Around the time the killings increased, many townsfolk disliked the Orc. He was so quiet, and when he spoke it was like listening to an avalanche, a very inarticulate avalanche. The shop was covered in furs, blood, and blades. Wang decided not to even bother. In his eyes, the Orc was nowhere clever enough to be the vampire. Just then, Wang hears a sharp thud. He looks and finds nothing. Galt beckons to Wang. They stare at the shop door. There is a note freshly planted. The parchment states, "You die tonight." Curious, the dagger keeping the note in place was forged at the blacksmith shop. A lead or a trap? Wang sneaks into the back of door and smithy. Farming tools and a few weapons await, but more importantly, a journal and ledger. The dagger seems to have been sold to Mildred the songstress. Oh, but the killer couldn't be Mildred. She'd never hurt anybody. She and Wang worked at the town's only tavern. Every night they'd sing and entertain the crowd. They were best friends. Well, best friends that kiss every now and then. The journal also contained an entry about Grubb the butcher. Doran claims that the Orc was eyeing Mildred, and so the dwarf cut off his hand. The Orc never liked to speak of his injury, and when he did, he would say it was a hunting wound from a wild beast. Scattered about the dwarf's bedroom were fantastic jewelry and a fine silky garment, clearly one of Mildred's. Wang chuckled at the thought. How much gold would Mildred drain from the poor blacksmith? Mildred and Wang have both left broken hearts in their wake. Not that it was a contest, but Mildred's list of broken hearts was longer. All in town fell in love with them, all save Father Almond. These secrets are great gossip, but Wang is no closer to the truth. He returns to the chapel. He finds Lily dead. Almond opens the door to receive Wang. He notices the body and shouts, "They've killed the Wang cousin! Nobody was watching her." The time has come to question the people. The people are questioned privately. Father Almond and Galt used all gathered evidence to question the villagers one by one. Wang is permitted time to mourn. He and Mildred take Lily's body away. They will be questioned when they return. Mildred and Wong exchange fond memories of Lily. They sit for a while at the tavern balcony, and Wong asks if the railing has always been broken. Mildred melts. She confesses that she murdered the sheriff. It was late. He had too much to drink. And she pushes a little too hard. It was an accident, of course, but not quite a tragedy. Few had mourned the sheriff. Wong, depressed and exhausted, embraces Mildred unlike any time before. It was time for Mildred and Wong to be questioned, but they were nowhere to be seen. Almond, Doran, and the brave men of the town burst into the tavern. To their surprise, Mildred was neither killing nor eating the bard. Doran begins to say that Wong must have lured Mildred here to slay her. Wong objects and says, "Jealousy isn't a good look on you, Doran." The songstress is quiet as the boys fight for her affection. Father Almond has never liked Mildred or Wong. He takes this opportunity. He says, "Everyone already questioned is innocent. Therefore, Wong and Mildred must be the vampires." Wong has read enough fairy tales to see how this ends. And then, facing his defeat, he claims that he is indeed the vampire. He threatens all with destruction and says the only way to defeat him is to tie him to a cross and wait for the sun. They bought it. Father Almond is ecstatic. Galt whispers to Graham, "Night is almost over, master." And Mildred cannot bear to watch the death of her dearest love. And so, how will it end? Well, as a narrator, I'm calling it the real killer is Father Almond. And so, there cometh the night. He is the aid they'd sent for, or the best they would get. Eric was his name, a would-be hero in every way. He demands an explanation. Almond explains. "We've got the wrong guy." Now, understanding, Eric repeats his query. Everyone tells him their version of the story all at once. "Dwarf, evil. He cut hands." Doran shouts, "And serves you right, Orc. If the old butcher were here, he'd back me up." Almond claims the Orc scared him off so he could get a promotion. Grubb defends, "He took a trip in fall. Not my fault." Doran recalls, "One day I went to the butcher's shop and the meat was just butchered." Eric interrupts, "What do you mean butchered? It's a butcher shop." Now, personally, my money is on the dwarf right about now. Mildred interjects, "Wait, did the old butcher take a trip or a fall?" Yes." Doran accuses. "Look, we all know it was the Orc. He has blood on his shirt." Mildred intervenes. "Of course he would. He's a butcher." "Damn right he's a butcher." "Really? How long you gonna milk that?" Mildred intercedes. "I thought your guess was wrong." Doran says, "Of course. This whole situation has Wong written all over it, and he is clearly in cahoots with the big barbarian." Mildred mediates. You were wrong about Wong. Almond roars. When there's a human and an elf in the room, who you gonna look at? The elf. You're the source of our problems, Missy. Graham walks. This has been a wonderful way to destroy my sleep schedule, but you must excuse me. I'm going home. Good day. Eric's eyes drift between the mob and the bard. The knight cut down the bard so they could talk. Now that Wong is free, he smells that vaguely familiar scent. He smells orange blossom perfume of Lily. It was her favorite, maybe because he always bought it for her. The smell was strong on Grub. Wong explains that only Lily wore orange blossom perfume, and Wong asks one question. Are you the monster? The crowd begins to gang up on a new target. The orc needs space. He pushes Eric and flees on his steed. Eric pursues. Now with the orc and the knight gone, the mob desires someone conveniently closer to burn at the stake. So here we go again. The mob turns to Mildred and Wong. Galt screams as loudly as he can. He reveals that the true killer is Graham Stone, the accountant. He recalls all that he knows. Graham was rejected by the only woman he ever loved, and so he killed her. Then he moved from town to town, murdering. He could not know happiness, so he took it from everyone he could. Galt was done serving his master. He had to save his friend, Wong. Wong is taken aback by his new friend's courage, and regaining himself, he asks, where is the accountant? All look. He cannot be found. Far and northward. The orc looks down a road. He spots a carriage. One driver, one horse. He begs a ride. The driver welcomes his company and lifts his hood to reveal himself to be Graham Stone. They recognize each other. They laugh at coincidence and share a sigh of relief. The orc says that he is cursed. He doesn't know how or why, but it would explain the killings. Orc says, I am no monster. To which the accountant replies, we are all monsters. As they ride into the coming dark, they say what a wonder it will be to start fresh. Then the orc says, are you hungry? Not another word was spoken that night. The end.